Hey everybody, Jonathan and Tara here.
Hey.
And we just wanted to spend some time and go over all of our gear that we finished the trail with. So starting out at the beginning, a lot of us don't really know for sure the items that we actually need opposed to the ones that we might end up sending home. So we wanted to, one, show you the items we finished with that we needed on the trail, and then two, also show you how we packed those items.
So yeah, we'll get into that right now.
All right.
Hey guys, welcome back. So this is a disclaimer. This does not include items that we sent home because it was no longer cold outside. So that includes puffies and the warmer sleeping bags. So just know that. So before we start, I just wanted to say that. Hey, I just want to mention two things before we go any further with this video. Number one is you should probably check out our gear video we did before we started the Appalachian Trail. It'll help you understand how many things we actually brought with us out there and how much stuff we got rid of towards the end. It will give you an idea of what you should bring and what items you should leave at home. I will link that video down below. And number two, to save time in this video, we didn't include every single name and product that we used on the Appalachian Trail. It was more of a general idea. For a more thorough list though of what we actually brought with us and ended with, you can find that down below too in the bio. I've included a super thorough list that will have the names and links to where you can actually purchase it. Alright, that's everything. Now back to the video. So essentially how it's going to go right now is we are going to show you from outside in. And we're going to go through our gear, but also pack it as we go, as we would if we were hiking on the Appalachian Trail at this moment.
So we both always had our hats, our GOPC hats. This was always on my head. For me, starting outside in, one, I had my Spot, it's like a GPS tracker. So that's on the outside, that was always right here on me. And then also down on my hip pads, this was designated for all snacks during the day. And then this is where I had my phone and headphones. So I'll just have that there for now. So the last thing on the outside of my pack is my trowel, our trowel, I guess.
This was my bag I used. It was the Aura 50 AG. Jonathan has the Atmos 50 AG. My bag, on it, I had a knife here that was on my strap. It was just the CRKT Minimalist, and so I just zip tied it to my pack. I didn't use it as often as I thought I would use it. It is a good knife. It was good for like cutting any cheese or food or anything, but I never had to use it any. I put it here mostly because of emergency situations. But luckily I never had to use it for any of those. What I had on my hip belts, these are my hip belts, I had mostly all my snacks in here. One was designated for my snacks, I don't have any right now, but I had my snacks, and then this was like the designated pocket for trash. And I actually still have trash in here from when we were hiking last, probably up Katahdin. Oops. I had my trusty fanny pack here. This is a Cotopaxi fanny pack. It's really awesome. It holds a lot. And so I was the one that did most of the filming. So I kept my phone in here for easy access and any little items like chapstick. So I had my rain jacket in here along with my camp shoes. Sometimes I dangled my camp shoes from this carabiner, but that is essentially the outside of the pack. The water bottles would go here. Our water bottles by the end looked like this. And so they're essentially just plastic smart water bottles, and one was designated for clean water, one was designated for filtering dirty water. And Jonathan had the same setup, so he had two as well.
So the rest of the outside of my pack, like Tara, in here, I had my rain cover, so easy access. I just put that right in the bottom of my mesh pocket. And then I also had my rain jacket. So this, we've gone over like some of our gear before in other videos, but this is just a simple rain jacket. pretty cheap and pretty compactable. So that also went right in the bottom of my mesh, right down here. And then also my camp shoes. So these were my camp shoes, they fit perfectly. For a while I had them dangling, but we just kind of found it's easier when everything's tucked away, nothing's swaying around. And so those came right down inside, just like this. My side pockets, I had my knife right here. Again, didn't really have to use these for anything other than food. Actually, this I stopped using for food because I started using it for ticks. I hung my Germex from the side pocket, and yeah, and then the water bottles. So
another thing that I had on the outside of my pack was my cooler cloth. So my cooler cloth was used for, let's just be frank, going to the bathroom. I hung on the outside of my pack, and I just hung it by my buckle here. So I opened that up. Also, my rain cover is on that buckle too, so it doesn't fall out of my pack. And so I would hang this loop through the buckle so that didn't fall off, and it was easy access if I needed to use the bathroom. And I just tucked that in. And I don't know where my camp shoes are right now, but they're just some Crocs, and so I hung them from that, or inserted them there. So unlike Jonathan, I had a brain on my pack. This just helped easy access for items if I was doing more filmmaking or needed items to be quick. I had my sit pad in between my brain and my pack, this sleeve right here. I put my sit pad in there and then just clipped it in. I did that because I had my iPad in here. My iPad was used for filmmaking. It was easy to put all of the videos on there and edit that way instead of on my phone. So I carried an iPad the whole way. So I put the iPad in there, and then also inserted Jonathan's sit pad in there. So it was completely protected, shock absorbed on either side of it. So that's what was in there. Right now I'm using the iPad for audio, so I will not be putting that in there. And then in here, the top brain zipper portion, I had a lot of smaller items. I had my wallet. I think sometimes I carried an extra chapstick in here. Lighters, just small items that I want to get out quickly. And I also carried, for easy access, I carried my toilet paper in there too.
So now getting down into our packs. So this is our extra waterproofing trash bag that we put any of our clothes, sleeping bags, pillows in. So this goes all the way down. This is the first thing in your pack. So every morning, this is pretty much what our pack looks like. It's an empty pack because our tent is set up, our sleeping stuff is out, and our clothes are out. So start like this. The first thing down in there are gonna be the clothes I'm not wearing for the day, which would be my sleeping clothes. So these go down in there first. And then I would have my pillow, sleeping bag, anything else that I want to keep absolutely dry for sleeping or anything like that. For my pillow, this is a Nemo pillow, and so it tucks in itself when you undo it. It looks like this, and you can blow it up too, so it's a little bit extra cushion. This is one of the bigger pillows, camping pillows or backpacking pillows, but so it's a little bit heavier than some others, but we enjoyed them. So this goes down in here, along with, this was my warm sleeping bag. I think it's a 45-degree Thermarest. And so a lot of times during the summer, sometimes I wouldn't even use it. But if I did, most of the time, I just kind of used it as a blanket or like a quilt type of thing. So this gets stuffed down in there too. Some people roll them up, some people just stuff them. Stuffing them seems to be helpful because it just kind of like forms to your pack. Yeah. And so if you like roll it up tight, then it's a solid item and you just kind of have to fit it in there. Yeah. But if it's not rolled up, then it just kind of forms to your pack.
As you guys noticed, when we started out, we had some event dry bags that kept our bags obviously super dry. But like Jonathan said, they were just a solid shape, so it was hard to fit everything in there You just kind of had to get it just right, like a jigsaw puzzle.
Next is my Nemo sleeping pad. And so this was the Astro. Tara had a different one, but she'll go over that. And so yeah, this goes down in there too. And then so on the warmer nights, especially, yeah, this is just my liner. It's a silk liner. And so I would just roll this up. This is what I slept in. Sometimes I didn't even get into this, just use it as a blanket. So yeah, that also goes in my dry bag. Especially up north, it started getting a little bit cooler, so you don't need this in the hot summer. But when it starts getting cooler up in New Hampshire, Maine, I just kept on, I held on to my R1 the entire time. And so this also goes down in my dry bag just because, yeah, you don't want your clothes getting soaked if you're getting rained on.
So first thing that goes in my pack once my dry bag is open like this is my sleeping bag. This is not a bag I carried with me. This tan thing right here, this is just to keep it nice and organized when we're out here. So this is my sleeping bag I use. It's down. So I literally just stuff that sucker in there, just like this. And then just try to get it at the bottom. Next thing to go was my clothes. I had a little backpack that we used, if we were ever in town, I had a little backpack. I don't know where that is, but that's what my clothes was in, so this little green backpack. It was really small and, you know, didn't have much to it, but it did hold my clothes. So next is that green backpack with all the clothes. So next is gonna be my Nemo sleeping pad. This is different from Jonathan's. It's lighter weight, a lower denier of fabric, but it was comfy, I enjoyed it. And, whoop, and my pillow. So I have the same pillow as Jonathan, the Nemo pillow. So those two things are gonna go in next. Just fit them as best I can. I try to get it on the other side of my clothes and just push down because the down is still fluffy and you can still compress it. So just tucking those in there. But yeah, and my R1 as well. I put that in there. And then, so next, I would bring it up like this and then just fold it down. Just making sure it was nice and closed so no water did get in there if it would. I don't think it is now. So yeah. So this is what the inside of my pack looks like now, just a black bag, and I got some space for more items.
Now, everything that's in my bag is everything I want to keep dry. It's all rolled up in my black trash bag. Next thing that's going in here is our MSR two-person Hubba Hubba. I carried the tent and Tara carried the poles. And so this just ended up, I would just stick it in flat right over my clothes.
Yeah.
All my dry clothes.
Yeah. Over the trash bag. They're more like contractor bags. Contractor bags are heavier, but they're a little more durable.
So to give you an idea, my clothes, tent, sleeping bag, everything that I'm gonna be sleeping in is in my pack right now, and we're only this full. I've only filled up half of my pack.
So next things next for me, before I put anything else in my bag, I put in our pot system. I carried the pot and the utensils and the stove. And so what was in our pot system were our utensils. They were just some cheap Walmart utensils. They weren't the lightest weight, but they did the trick. Also in the pot system, it's a little janky. These kept it all together. Also, if you guys have any recommendations for pots that just seamlessly fit together and the top never comes off, let us know, because this is frustrating. We had our pan. We had our gas canister. Thank you, Jonathan. We had one bowl. We had our stove. So we had this stove the entire time. This is the Amicus, the Soto Amicus. And so it's just a cool little stove here, pretty compact. Had a piezo igniter on it that actually went bad, and so we had to start using a lighter. But that's common with piezo igniters. They typically go bad eventually. So that wasn't a downside at all. Next is the actual pot. This is the Snow Peak Titanium Trek 1400, I believe.
Wow.
It's a big pot, and we could have definitely downgraded, but we had it, and we thought, why not? Just let's keep it, whatever. It's just a big old pot. So one of us would eat out of this, one of us would eat out of this, whatever. And so all of that kind of fit together. I will fit that all together, fast forward. So like Jonathan said, I carried the poles, and what I do with my poles is hang them on the outside of the pack. They just went in. So they just fit in there like this, and then I wrap this buckle around the string that's on the bag just to make sure they didn't fall off my pack.
So, next thing we had in our pack, after the tent is in my pack, the next thing that went in here was a food bag. So here's the food bag. Tara's too, that was the next thing she had also. So we put those in.
They're much more full than this, by the way. Much more full.
Yeah.
These are empty.
Now, so our packs are getting pretty full. I do have some space still left on the side. All right here is empty. So what I had in here was, this bag right here was kind of like our electronic bag. It had our battery pack, which held up to about 6 or 7 full battery charges for our phones and the iPad. It
is an Anchor rechargeable battery. Forget how much it is. I know it's $60, but I forget how many watts it is. But it is pretty big. We had to power 2 phones and an iPad. So in our minds, it was necessary.
So this was a Z-Pack. This is just a little bag that held our cables, our batteries, and I held my headlamp in there. So that all goes into the same place. And then this goes right down next to my food bag. Yeah, so some other things I had down next to my food bag was the bear line. I would attach this to our food bags, hang that. So that went right next to my food bag. And then this baggie, it had our water filter, which was very important, so easy access right on top. And then 2, like bug spray or Vaseline or anything like that. So I just rolled that up and had that right on the side, right on top next to my food bag, cinched it down. And there, so easy access right on top.
I'm not as organized as Jonathan was, so I kind of just, at the end of all of it, I just kind of like stuff wherever it would go. So at the end of it, I had like my headlamp that was just sitting out. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put this in my knickknacks on the brain. So I put that in the top part. Also, that was convenient to have on the top because if we were hiking through the night or hiking till it was dark out, I could just get it out real easily. I had all my knickknacks and everything just kind of stuffed wherever. That was essentially how I packed my bag. I would clip her up. It was much, like I said before, it was much more full than this. I would cinch her down, put this over. Like I said, I would put one sit pad right here, and then I would fold this over with the iPad in and everything. Let me turn around. And then I'd clip it on right here. Clip it on. And that was my pack.
Very good.
It's nice to have it back on my back. So as you can tell, Jonathan did carry our water filter. We changed our water filter a lot. We had a MSR Trail Shot to start out with. Then we had the Sawyer Micros. Both of us had one. Those were extremely slow for us. Then we got the Sawyer squeeze, and so he carried that, the one that we had. But for emergencies, I had this little canister. These are little baggies that you can get at Walmart. They're just called pill pouches, and that was really helpful, so I didn't have to carry all these, like for Benadryl, I didn't have to carry like the little jar of it. I could just carry this little baggie and put it all in here. So when, if we were ever apart and I didn't see he was coming, for emergencies I would carry these iodine pills, I guess you could call them. I didn't really use them a lot, only when Jonathan wasn't around. And so this also, I'm not as organized as Jonathan, I just literally just threw that wherever it would go. And then we also had our trekking poles. On there I had duct tape and DeLuco tape. But yeah, so I think it is necessary for you to watch that video of our pre-trail gear. I'll link that up here or in the bio. And then come back and watch this video and see how much our gear changed over the course of our through hike. So you can really get an idea of what you actually need out there. So we had a lot of trinkets. Like I remember one that's coming to mind is a little pot glove thing. It's a little orange pot glove. We didn't need that.
Never used it once.
Never needed that. A lot of stuff you have you can use for multi-purpose. You can multi-purpose a lot of your items. So I'd recommend looking back at both of those videos and then kind of looking at your gear with that same eye is, can I multi-purpose this, or is this really necessary to my hike? But essentially what you need to focus on is your feet, your clothes, your sleep system, your tent, your cook system. Those are the things that are really gonna keep you happy out there. Don't focus on the little things.
All right, yeah, so that is, that's the gear that we finished with, and that's how we pack our bag. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys, and see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.